It's a bull, but you know, since this is so late in the afternoon, I'm going to call that for Sunday night, and let's see what happens. Sunday night and Monday morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Got the Deerfield Beach cam up there, a couple fish, and water clarity wasn't as nice as it was the last few days, but lots of happy fishes out there. Hope you're a happy fish as well, because I certainly am. Take a look at these prices, just crazy. This Ukraine and Russia event has turned out to be a black swan event in precious metal markets. More than just the war, this actually has to do with sanctions. This has to do with stock markets. This has to do with the velocity of money. This has to do with the transfers of money and wealth and everything like that. So we're seeing big up prices in gold for sure. And palladium, man, I nailed that one about a week ago. I said palladium was going to go right through the roof if we saw sanctions, and there you go. Up substantially. You know, I'm not sure I jump into that market even now. I mean, it could go up a lot higher. However, remember, that is controlled by the Russians primarily and somewhat Canadians and the South Africans. That is a cartel, a mafia cartel there. That, again, no, I'm not casting dispersions, but there's three entities that control that entire market, and they could drop it down $1,000 just like that easily and collusively, in my opinion, as well. But let's take a look at the gold market right now, because that's what most of us own is gold and silver. 1932 was the low, 1970 the high. It looks like we're closing up at that high. New York closed at 1965. The aftermarkets are even $5 higher, showing good strength in the Friday night aftermarket here. Look at silver, 25.07 the low, 25.76 is a high. I didn't think we were going to see near that $26 level, but here we are. 25.65 is the current price. It looks like it closed at 25.78 in New York as well. We'll look at the 24-hour charts here in a moment. Platinum, 11.19, did bust handily that $1,100 mark. Low at 10.73, a high at 11.23 right there. And again, currently sitting at 11.19. And boy, palladium, take a look at that, just monster moves. I mean, I think we started at $2,300 over a little bit over a week ago. And again, when I saw Friday, I was saying, oh, here goes palladium. And that's exactly what we got. We got palladium up almost, at least $700 or more per ounce right now. But very volatile metal and controlled by those three cartels, as I said. So I couldn't say whether you jump in, you jumped out, or what kind of can money be made at this point. Maybe it's already priced in, the sanctions. I don't know. But I kind of don't think so. I think we are looking at new levels right here. The chart guys are saying 27 is the next level, then it'll back off from 27 down to 24, 25. I have a chart guy that comments. Thank you, by the way, chart guy, if you're listening. And there's another chart guy that said the same thing as you, chart guy. There's more than one chart guy out there, chart guys. And the ladies, I'm sorry, chart guys and ladies have been saying it's like 27, then we're going to see a back off from 27 back down to maybe 25, maybe even 24, and then it'll rocket back up forward. But however, what does this black swan type event doing right now? You know, commodities across the board are going to just start sailing upwards. China is not done with Taiwan, so I mean, there's all kinds of things on the burner. We have an upside-down political system here in the United States and Europe across the world. We have leaders that are pretty much clueless and shouldn't be in positions as they are in America, Europe, and you name it, again, all over the world. Where do we go from here? Well, I think with precious metals and most commodities, upwards, upwards, upwards. If we see $200 barrel oil, which I don't think is impossible here in the not too far distant future, you know, we're going to see gold and silver prices just skyrocket as well. And we're already seeing great movement in it. However, silver is quite tepid compared to the movements in gold. I want to do a quick gold to silver ratio right here because I haven't done it, and I'm going to do it with series, so forgive me if I screw it up. Give me 1 second. 1,970.02 divided by 25.65.
It's about 76.8038.
All right, so the current gold to silver ratio right now is 76.8 to 1. Okay, that's kind of tightened it up quite a bit, actually, with gold's movement and silver movement upward. I think silver is catching up with gold. As I said, gold leads the way pretty much, but once this silver monkey hammering and manipulation ends in Crimex markets, which I think it's about to here, they've got to capitulate at some point. I think this could be a very scary situation for the big short positions out there, especially BofA if they have that 800 million ounce short position that they have not covered yet. And JP's probably wringing their hands right now because they're sitting on a ton of silver and a ton of gold that they've made, in my opinion, illegally over the course of years of spoofing and manipulating gold and silver markets. But hey, they're in the same position. At least they're not working against us right now, right? They're actually in the same team we are, hoping for higher prices, I'm sure. But never underestimate these criminals. Again, my opinion completely. Let's take a look at what the 24-hour chart is saying to us, and they're just saying up, up, and away. It's my beautiful balloon. Here we go. Well, we're not a balloon, believe me. Not even close to being a balloon yet. That's what the equities market is, a slowly deflating balloon dying of 1,000 cuts right now. I don't believe we're going to see that overnight crash that we saw in 2008. So people looking for a crash are going to be quite surprised to find out that it's going to come over a long period of time. In my opinion, again. I think the government and the Fed, Treasury, has learned from 2008 that if you're going to blow a big bubble and it's going to bust, try to do it slowly, deflate the air slowly instead of an overnight bust. And I believe that's what they're doing, and they're supporting equity markets as well. But it's purely speculation and conspiracy on my part, or conspiracy theory on my part. 24-hour chart. Here is today's chart. Look at that. Up, up, and away. 1940 to 1970. What can you say about that? Occurred overnight, too. If you remember, there was a... last night they said that one of the Ukrainian nuclear plants, I think that has 6 operating nuclear vessels or whatever, was on fire. And oddly enough, I went and looked. It was surprising, too, because they showed a picture of the fire at this nuclear plant. And I said, well, it's funny. There's all kinds of cars. There's a parking lot right next to this fire at this nuclear plant. And according to news last night, they were saying that the nuclear plant was on fire and that it risked blowing up, and the radioactivity levels were... watch out, folks. Watch out for the propaganda of war, because... again, I'm kind of going into a long-winded story, and that's, I believe, the reason we saw gold and silver prices start to move up in the evening last night was because of that. However, I went on Google Maps. Google Maps actually will show you this very same parking lot I saw in the picture. I was able to identify the parking lot and identify the building on fire last night because I was concerned. My girlfriend's parents are in Kharkiv. We haven't heard from them. I don't think there's any communication come out of there. So I was a bit concerned about a nuclear power plant blowing up, but as soon as I saw the Google pictures, I realized it was just a building quite a distance away from the power plant itself, where the nuclear rods or whatever you want to call it. So there was a lot of propaganda about the nuclear plant being on fire and radiation and stuff like that. However, that's what the fog of war is all about, propaganda and narrative, And again, as I said last night, that's where we saw markets start to drift up, where they have never really stopped, except for, take a look at this, a little bit before New York opened, you got that little slingshot back upwards. And silver pretty much the same, except silver took a huge leap upwards in the Crimex markets here. You see New York Crimex markets here, and boy, that's just a big up right there, a big spike, and then kind of drifted its way sideways, where it's still kind of going right now. Let's see. The coin says that we're going to have a bull market on Sunday night. Wouldn't that be awesome? However, I always get a little nervous when I see markets move up this fast. It's just a natural reaction I have that comes from two things: that the markets have moved up too fast. The news may change over the weekend. There may be a ceasefire. Things may get better, and this price can go down dramatically on Sunday night. Or the other reason I'm like gun shy a little bit, go figure, gun shy, what a great choice of words now. Gun shy would be constantly watching Crimex, Comex, the Comex markets, and the CFTC allowing the big commercial short positions to stomp down the price of silver and gold, of course, but stomp down the price of silver is what makes me nervous, is that we know the manipulation exists. We know that these big short positions must be really crying right now. I believe BofA is in, from what we understand, if that is correct, BofA is in for 800 million ounces. Their average cost seems to be around 23 bucks an ounce or something like that. That's 800 million times 2 is what, folks? If they're down $2 an ounce on that position. But I think even though they may have made a big mistake getting that. Well, it's a big mistake if you're buying anything from JP Morgan, probably, because they're probably playing the other side against you, but no less. It's probably a big mistake that BofA made, borrowing that gold and silver from JP, and I'm sure BofA is doing everything they can to figure out a way to lessen that pain that they're going to probably incur here, maybe by buying the other side of that trade as well. That's too technical for me. Dow Jones, SP, NASDAQ across the board in the red, so are the futures as well. Does not look good. Looks like crude oil's up about 7%. We've broken that $100 barrel mark. I think we're heading to 150, 200 if this doesn't get taken care of soon in the ceasefire. Commodities across the board are going to just go crazy. What is it that I do better than any of the other dealer talking heads out there, the other YouTube gold and silver talking heads? I know product. As far as wholesale and retail goes, I can always tell you what the best deals are and what to stay away from. Well, if you're watching this and you've been watching my videos for more than a few months now or longer, I'm going to tell you the same thing. You can fast forward till the silver and gold screen is done, and if you're new to these videos, I'm going to tell you what the best deal out there is. It's gold bars by far. The best deal out there is 1 ounce gold bars by Perth Mint, Sunshine Mint, I would say Swiss, Valcombis, all those good bars, Royal Canadian Mint, RCM mints. Metalore even makes a nice 1 ounce bar, I just recently found out. And you should be paying no more than spot plus $73 maximum for gold bars. Once you get up into gold maple leafs and the sovereign type coins, country coins like maple leafs, gold eagles, buffaloes, the premium is up substantially. Wouldn't recommend them. Much better deal. And as I said, I advertise to beat APMEX, JM, and SD Bullion. They're the big 800-pound gorillas out there that I believe are trustworthy, and you will get your gold. But being the competitive local dealer I am, I will beat their prices on the best deals. On the best deals, I won't sell you overpriced crap. And speaking of overpriced stuff, what is overpriced in gold? Again, gold eagles, gold buffaloes, and definitely don't buy any numismatic gold coins unless you're a collector. Don't buy them for that confiscation nonsense, all right? Same thing with silver. The best deals out there of silver are going to be, I think I'm out of kilo bars, man. I'm sorry, but if you want to place an order for them, I've got more coming in. You can lock them in at spot plus $275 over. I've got 100-ounce bars and 10-ounce bars at spot plus $3 over, and I've got 1-ounce bars still available at spot plus $350. That's for small quantities. There's no sales tax in Florida once you spend over $500, which is another great deal. And again, that's better than the online vendors. So I'm recommending generic out there. Just stick with your generic 1s, 10s, kilos, and 100s. Those are the best deals out there, and the most you're going to pay is spot plus $350 over. And as I said, I advertise to beat the big online guys. And if you don't live in South Florida and you can't do business with me, please find yourself a good local dealer. Well, all kinds of cool stuff out here to talk about as far as gata.org. And as you know, if you are a gold stacker and you buy gold, you must have gata.org on your bookmark bar, and you should be reading them once a week, okay? Because these are the guys that will tell you how the game is rigged, who rigs the game, how it's played, who the players are, and all that pertinent stuff that makes you a good player at the table, okay? Okay? That's my new word, okay. In this video interview, GATA Chairman Murphy reviews gold suppression policy. I highly recommend you read that, especially if you're new to this whole gold suppression stuff. In my opinion, GATA.org is the #1 authority on how the price of gold is manipulated, who and how, and all that good stuff. So I definitely recommend that you read this article. I can't do it right now. We'll be here forever, and I'm trying to wrap up the day here as well. Also, they have the basics, confiscation, documentation, all this stuff here as well. Gosh, I don't think I read the confiscation one, but some other good articles as well. And as I said, this will make you smarter than the average bear when it comes to gold. And when it comes to silver, Ted Butler is the best. Bar none, I think Ted Butler is the #1 guy out there that lets us know who the silver manipulators are, who the players are, how they rig the game. Same thing. So read Ted Butler, but he does have a subscription-only service. I am subscribed to him right here, as you can see. But he also has a lot of free articles you can read, and I highly recommend in Google, type in, not Google, I don't like Google, like what is that, DuckDuckGo or whatever it is, because it's private. Google, man, once you put anything in there, they bombard you with ads. So type in under your DuckDuckGo Ted Butler, silver manipulation, and you will find tons of articles. There's lots of good stuff here, and that's mostly YouTube videos, so I'm going to go here, go to his articles, and if you hit the anytime button here and you can say the past month, you can probably go back and read what he's listed for the past month. Good stuff. Ted Butler is the number one guy out there, in my opinion, on that. As far as zero hedge here, I'm going to kind of go over a few articles real quickly and give some idea, what I'm thinking. And I'm just kind of done talking about a few things on here. And that doesn't surprise me. And let's just see if there's anything on here that's really pertinent to the price of gold and silver. And this is House Democrats block bill to approve Keystone Pipeline. This just means higher energy prices, folks, and more dependent on other people out there. Is this good for the price of gold and silver? Hell yeah. Is it good for America and the working class people and the poor? Hell no. So I don't know what the blue people are thinking here. They're not helping Americans. Metal traders hit with hundreds of millions of erroneous margin calls. That must have been a frightening day for some of those folks. By the way, ZH here is a very interesting site. It's a news hub. It's not written by the same guy. A lot of different bloggers out here, a lot of different opinions, all different narratives. Not all of them correct, but at least it's not that single viewpoint narrative you get from corporate news. And you know me and my opinion on corporate news. I'm not going to go into it. And Russian oil, higher Russian oil. Nothing good out here, folks. Powell's pivot to nowhere. Powell can't pivot right now. Also, another thing I haven't spoken about is the fact that the Fed's between a rock and a hard place right now. This is another reason markets are going crazy. It's a combination of things. We have a lot of mini black swans going on right now, and they're all kind of coming together to create what I think is a major black swan. This is the one that frightens me the most, a food crisis. And I don't talk about this much, folks, but being a South Floridian here, I've been through hurricanes. I've seen what hurricanes can do. I've seen that you can be out of food and water and all that good stuff for some period of time, and you never know. It depends on the size of the storm. However, what about economic and political storms? Isn't that a great time to have food too? This frightens me. Again, what if we go to the grocery stores? The grocery stores are closed, because of stuff like this. Maybe I'm overplaying it, but you know what? I think one of the things that folks need to do out there, and this is, I am not getting paid to say this, I wouldn't even know where to tell you to go. I own about 3 or 4 months worth of freeze-dried food myself, and you know what? If you live in South Florida, you definitely need to have a certain amount of freeze-dried food of some sort. But if just in general across the whole world right now, man, things are looking very precarious and frightening. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. And what does this have to do with the price of gold and silver? It's going to make it go up dramatically. The weaponization of money and financial rails, the weaponization of money. If you've been listening to my videos for the last 2 years, by the way, I'd say it's probably a good article to read. Although it does look like it's talking about Bitcoin, which is not performing well in this environment, which surprises the hell out of me. But the U.S. dollar was weaponized years ago. If there's one thing the whole world loved, it was U.S. dollars. And even the Russians and the Chinese, they loved U.S. dollars everywhere. But when we weaponized it, China, Russia, Iran, they all said, you know what, we're going to have to work around. Even they're using it against us. We won't be able to use the dollar system. They're going to remove the SWIFT system from us. So here's what, we're going to have to create our own system. So once we weaponized the dollar, we really screwed ourselves, folks. But we didn't do it. Our politicians and officials did, both red and blue parties. Let me move along from here. Accessing, that could be paramount to a war, actually. And that's like stealing their money. I'm not even going to go into this. If for some reason it seems like Europe and the United States just keeps throwing more gasoline on this fire. I don't know why. Do they want to send our kids off to that region to die? Is that what they want to happen? Do they want a nuclear war? Where are the frickin' peacemakers? Why couldn't Biden or someone from EU just step in and say, hey, I want to have a talk with Putin. Listen, Putin, we're not going to put weapons down there. Forget it. They may want them. We're not going to put them down there. How about we just have a buffer zone down there? No one gets killed. Everyone's fine. No NATO troops down there. Let them rule their own country. You get out. And again, we'll promise, Europe and the United States will promise that we'll put no weapons or NATO troops down there. Simple, easy. A couple paragraphs to say that. And then Russia would probably leave. And at that point, if they didn't leave, you'd have a good case to make against them, okay? But no, that's not what Europe and the United States has been doing. we've been throwing gasoline on that fire, and the propaganda is full on tilt. I can't tell you how many buildings I have seen the same building blown up on different news sources on different day. They'll say today an apartment complex was blown up, but they show the same one that was blown up a week ago. So the propaganda shit is just full on crazy. Where are the peacemakers? My gosh, blessed are the peacemakers, as they say in a biblical verse, I believe, for they shall inherit something far better than the other assholes. All right. Anyways, I digress. There's a drink for you. I'm going to talk about yesterday's video, which was pretty cool. And yesterday's video was Russian money, gold-backed. And basically what I was talking about was that Putin's basically going to take VAT tax off gold over there, which is going to encourage people to buy gold with their rubles and whatever currency they have as a preservation of wealth. I think that's super smart. Russia has a lot of gold. And as I said many, many times, a lot of people think, well, they make big mistakes. They're making big mistakes financially and in this war. I don't think so, folks. I think they planned this out long ago, and they're several moves ahead of NATO and the United States and Europe. I really believe that. And again, I can't stand war. I can't stand warmongers. But, you got to look at this from a logical standpoint. Why did we put weapons? Why do we want to put weapons? Why did we poke the bear? What is the reason for that? There was no reason for creating this whole mess and throwing fire on it. But, boy, I can't go there anymore. Mark, don't worry. They're going to get rich on this next up market, so I don't know what to say about that. But you reap what you sow, and at some point JP will probably reap what they sow one day. If not on this life, maybe the next one. And if it gets monkey hammered, how much would you guess? I don't know. If all of a sudden peace was declared and everything went back to normal, and the rate hikes, I think gold could easily drop down to the 1800 range, 1820, something like that, 1850, like in a knee-jerk reaction. I doubt much lower than that. But I think it would quickly go back up again. That's just my opinion. Don't trade on that advice or my opinion. And silver, I think, is we could see a 2250. I mean, silver moves dramatically when it does, but that would have to be just pure monkey hammering, and we know that happens, and it could very well happen again. But I think it would shoot back up very quickly as well. I believe we're in new times right now, in new numbers, okay? And we're going to look back at low 20 silver and sub $2,000 gold and go, God, you remember when it was that cheap? I wish I had bought more. Again, just my opinion. Number 3, that's me. It's a bear. Okay, what you're watching is corruption being exposed. Absolutely. I'd like to acknowledge everyone here. I can't say all the names here because I'm going to try to read what they're saying. Faster market goes down, the quicker it will rebuild. That's what I said. I believe that the Fed is going to let the equities market die a death of 1,000 cuts instead of just letting it collapse and letting good players pick up the pieces. Oh, I accidentally went back into the wrong video. There we go. I'm going to start from the top. I'm not going to make you dizzy. Joey says, it looks like more currency war. That is probably 2. Battle to go back down on the ruble versus oil-backed dollar as well. If they're not trading, if Russia's not trading in dollars for oil and China's not, there's not really much of an oil-backed dollar anymore, is there, sir? Thanks for watching, Eddie. Oh, wow. Man, you're an old customer of mine. Glad you're enjoying yourself in Texas. What is going on? I was wondering if you're going to tell us what to do, especially when gold goes up and brings silver with it. I don't want to tell anybody what to do. What I'm trying to do, Sarge, Eddie, is just kind of teach you what I know and what I'm thinking and what my opinion is, and let you make your own from that. Because the last thing I want to do is become a financial advisor, because I'm not. This is just simply my experience and my opinion. But I'm sure I'll let you know when that time comes. Thanks for watching. Robert, a perfect time to switch on the brick banking system with gold backing. This will make the swift monopoly. Checkmate back with, yeah, there's all kinds of options for the Chinese and the Russians and stuff. The worst thing the United States ever did was, and again, Republicans and Democrats, is weaponize the dollar. The worst thing we ever did is weaponize the dollar. The dollar used to be coveted by people worldwide. Now Russia hates the dollar, China, and you can't blame them. We turned it against them. We should have just let them use it, okay? And stay dependent on it, all right? What kind of dumbass would think of otherwise? Well, I tell you who, our politicians, both parties. Chris says, I'll take Sunshine Mint Flying Eagles. Yeah, Sunshine Mint's a great product, by the way, and you're absolutely right. about that. And if you want to write about, pause and read Chris's statement there. Yeah, big government sucks. Smaller government. The smaller the government, no matter how large the country, the better off the people are. I don't care what anyone says about that. That's absolutely true. And I thought there was probably liquidating bars and rounds in Florida for tax purposes. No such thing, Guido. Never heard of such a thing. But please elaborate in comments today. I'm happy to answer that. Scott says, I stacked hard from 26 all the way down. I feel really good about it. Great way to save money. It is a great way to save money, Scott. And the fact that the value of the dollar is falling and that this stuff is going to do well, I agree with you. They need to rip the Band-Aid and pour salt in the wound. I can't argue with that. You think premiums are high now, just give it a bit. Steve, I'm glad you brought that up because I do think premiums are going to go up here pretty soon. Precious metals, silver and gold is such a small part of the investment world out there. If 1% of Wall Street money went into gold and silver, premiums would be triple, quadruple. Product would be impossible to get. So, if serious money starts moving into these markets, folks, prepare for premiums and prices to go frickin' ballistic. All right? I just can't tell you when, but gosh, I just feel something. I feel it in the air. In Panama, where I live, there's no gold market to speak of. I only know one dealer is charging 12% over for 1 ounce gold bullion. That's an average. He gets more for gold buffalo. They buy their stuff from U.S. gold dealers. They pay tariffs, bring it in. That's just crazy. Unfortunately, that's surprising too. I thought there was a lot of gold in Panama. Wow. Thanks for that information, Glenn. And Dale says, how many states have a VAT tax? None. No states have VAT taxes I'm aware of. This is a European thing, and I was talking about that yesterday when we were talking about Russia removing VAT tax from their gold and silver sales, and which is wonderful. Europe still has VAT tax, which is amounts to nothing more than theft and trying to keep people out of the gold and silver market. And I advise if you live in Europe and you have to pay VAT tax, go underground. Find your gold and silver from other people, individuals selling. Avoid buying any gold that you have to pay a VAT tax. Screw that. Say no to taxes. That's my opinion in Europe. Now, United States is a different story. We don't have a tax like that. We don't have a VAT tax, so we don't have to worry about that. My comments say exactly, but if you want he may not have a pickup to barter for goods directly. Oh, Dono, I appreciate that. I didn't think you were saying that you would be bartering directly. I just wanted to bring that point up, and thanks for your comment. If people didn't know about palladium, they must have been in Gilligan's Island. If they can afford it, it may still be a good buy. Who knows? Yeah, exactly. I feel the same way. Thanks for James Ed. I appreciate that. I do not agree with Ukraine narrative. I don't either. Mumbly, bumbly, creepy guy. Yep, I can't argue with that. Thanks for commenting, Brian. Scott says thanks for the info. Thank you, Scott. Thanks for being a listener. I appreciate that. Alex B., man, if you live somewhere here in South Florida, I just don't know. It's hard. You couldn't hire someone just by the telephone, just by meeting them. I got to meet people face to face. But I wish you lots of luck on getting out of Canada. And the fact that you want to work, you got no debt and a reliable vehicle puts you ahead about 80% of people your age. So you're in the top, I'm going to say you're in the top 10% of hireable people, sir, just for that. The fact that you're looking for work. It is so hard to get people to work down here in Florida, and I think I hear that all over the country. Thanks for watching, Alex, and if you're ever in our neighborhood, definitely stop by and see us. And Mike Pick says, why only buy silver? They make good gold to trees. Oh boy. Because of Russia. Okay. Wait till Russia sells their gold reserves, prop up the ruble. They will sell their silver to reserve true price. I don't believe that at all. Russia has 2,002, and that I believe that is just what they have reported. Russia has far more gold than that. I don't think they've been reporting their official reserves, just like China. Everyone knows that China hasn't reported their official reserves. I'm thinking that the Russian reserves are at least double that or more, and they're not going to sell their gold or silver. Trust me on this, Dr. Duct Taper. They're a couple moves ahead of Europe and the United States when it comes to this financial war that's going to be waged here. And the ground war as well. You trust the government way too much. They wouldn't confiscate anything. They're not going to confiscate gold and silver. They could come and confiscate your underwear if they wanted to, but they're not going to confiscate your gold and silver. And why? The simplest, best reason, other than we're not on a gold standard, is because they could easily take far more money with the stroke of a pen, taxing everything you own or taking that away instead. They don't need to come for your gold. If they thought gold was important, maybe they would, but they'd rather take the cash. They live in a fiat system. Okay, that's why they're not going to steal your gold. They're going to try to tax the hell out of it maybe. The truth about, don't know about that, but I always encourage you folks to post different things you're learning about. My favorite 10-ounce bar is, pretty cool looking bars. I've seen them. This is a jacked up world, sir. Monkey Hammer, the press, I will simply buy more. Can't argue with that. It's possible to have more than one reserve currency. I don't know why he would say that, but I'm going to read into that. Thank you, sir. Nice to see you posting, guys. Bill Southern says, Europe and China need it. What do you think is going to happen if Russia pays for oil with gold, not the U.S. paper gold, the real physical gold? Germany is probably glad they repatriate. Yeah, what if what if Russia starts asking to be paid in gold? Exactly. Germany does have some gold, though. We haven't given it all back to them. Thanks for the comment, Bill. Very true as well. And I encourage all of you to comment in the comments. Be civil, and you can learn a lot from each other. I learn a lot from you guys as well. Please read the Dodd-Frank Act. No bail-ins, no bail-ins. By the way, your kilo bar was a great deal. Yes, it was, and I'm going to get more. Thanks for commenting there, Pathetic Prepper. Appreciate that. And you probably appreciate what I'm talking about, a food supply as well, with Prepper in your name. See, he has been accumulating gold for quite some time. A lot of people don't realize this, but they weren't reporting what they owned in gold. And that's probably in preparation for when they were going to have an economic war with the West like they are right now. But they have far more gold than we believe they do and than they reported. Absolutely true, Ellen. Can't argue with that. Elle Zhang does push pre-33 gold. She says that's her choice. She can afford it. That might not be right for everyone. She's a serious prepper too. Bug out comment. I don't buy pre-33 gold. She is smart. She seems really smart, but, I don't know how to say this, but pre-33 is a terrible deal. It really is. It's just not a good deal. Even if you can afford it, it's not good. Why throw the money at a grading service, at a graded coin, a common graded coin, all right? Just simply because it has a little higher grade. And that's another whole racket, if you ask me. But I'm a coin dealer. I'm a numismatic person. So, I know this stuff. But let me tell you, it is not smart pushing pre-33 on your customers. It really isn't, and I'd be happy to debate anyone about this. Even Lynette, and she seems like a very smart lady. I have listened to some of her stuff. Wasn't aware that she pushes that pre-33 gold, and it surprises me. Fed money, government money, have money. Thank you, John. Okay, I will do that. Moody James, appreciate that. Poor Man Investing has been pretty serious about the fact that there are different cryptos out there that you can't be locked out of, and I'm not doubting that. But I'm not taking back anything I have said about cryptos in the past. You got to understand them. And Poor Man's Investing. Fortunately for you, you are probably pretty good at that because it sounds like you know what you're talking about. So you know how the game is rigged, you know how the game is played. But for the average person, I don't think it's a good deal. But man, best to you that you're making money, and I really sincerely mean that. Thanks for watching Poor Man's Investing. And as a capitalist, I don't care how you guys make money as long as you make it legally. And if you make a lot of money on something like cryptos or a casino or whatever, gold markets, silver markets, car markets, you name it, man, I won't say I'm proud of you because I don't know you that well, but I'd have to say that kudos to you, man. That's a good thing. That's what capitalism is all about. Again, as long as you're not ripping anyone off or harming anyone, it's a great thing. Yeah, that's true. Heart of Texas, they will have bail-ins. I don't know about bail-ins. We'll see. We know what bail-ins are, though. Whales Rib, man, that hasn't been there in a long time. There's some taco joint there now. Deerfield Peach is awesome. Oh, Whales Rib is in Deerfield. I'm sorry about that. Yep, that's right. I like Deerfield Beach, too. Pretty cool place. Linda says, maybe I missed last year's stock production to put a notch inside of silver. Maybe done it. Nah, I think the American Mint has reduced silver sales just because they know that there's a shortage out there and they don't want to exasperate the thing. And other mints as well. But again, that's speculative on my part. Gold and silver follow crude oil. Gold did follow oil in the 80s, in the 70s and 80s. Okay, not sure about that. Majestic Mint? I don't know. The faster market dawns, quicker it will rebuild. Absolutely true. That's what I'm saying is let the bubble burst. Let the bubble burst. Don't bail out any of these companies. Let these bad companies go under and let good companies pick up their assets. That's the way it should work. What you're watching is corruption. Yep, we've already been down here. Well, that's it. I'm going to call it a day, folks, and a weekend. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. I'm hoping to do the same. I got my election day coming up. I'm running for town commissioner on the Tuesday, the 8th. So I'm not sure. I'll get a report out anyway. That's my goal. Get a report out every day. Hey, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And have yourself a great weekend. And we're here 10 to 4 Mondays through Fridays. Call us anytime, 954-493-8811. And I'll talk to you later. Bye now.